Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. I'm really glad you could join us all this evening. My name is Martine. I'll be your presenter this evening. I've been with Prospect for nearly 5 years now and have presented numerous times at different universities around CV and interview tips, so hopefully I know a bit about what I'm talking about. And we've had some really great interest in the webinar as well, so I hope it does live up to your expectations. However, is there anything you want clarity on or you want me to explain further, then please add a question to the side panel of the webinar tool and we'll answer all your questions at the end of the session. And the session is scheduled to be about 30 minutes long. Hopefully we won't keep you too much longer than that. And I've actually practiced it myself and it doesn't even last 30 minutes. So I won't worry too much about it being taking up too much of your time. So what we'll be talking about today. So first we'll be running through who are Prospect Health, and the veterinary team will be introducing themselves as well, and we'll tell you a bit more about what we do and how we can help you now and also in the future. I'll then go on to talking about discussing the structure of your CV, and I'll go on to talk about the opening statement of your CV, key skills and achievements that you want to be putting onto your CV, your work experience that will be going onto your CV, your CV interests. I'll talk a bit about covering letters and what they should say, and then also we'll be taking questions to the team right at the end. We've got the whole vet team on the webinar tonight, so your questions could be about CVs or any general job seeking questions can be asked too, so it's not a problem at all. Prospect Health, who we are and what service can we provide to you as a new grad. So many new grads, as you'll probably know, just go into new grad schemes, although we have successfully placed roles for new graduates over the past 4 years. We can offer you help and support throughout your career and point you in the right direction as to where you want to go. Do keep in contact with us so that when you are ready to move on for your first job, we can be there to help and support you. We offer CV advice, interview advice, regular industry news and blogs as well via our social media pages. And also we send out bi-weekly emails if you remember submitting your email to one of our contact gathering sessions to sponsor your grad balls. We've also just released a salary survey, and within that it also has salary expectations of new grads as well. So that might be something that you are interested in. So that's just a bit about us and what we do. What I'll do now is I'll go on to talk about the actual stuff that you've actually come to the webinar for. So just talk about the layout of your CV. So the first thing about your CV is just to keep it short. Employers often have numerous CVs to pour over, and the best ones are the ones that get the key points over really, really simply and quickly. Key contact info needs to be at the top so it can be accessed at any point by the employer, so it's just the best place to keep it really. Then you'll need your personal statement, followed by your key skills and achievements, then your work experience, education, and then at the end, a list of your interests. I'll now go through all these points in greater depth. So, opening statement, what should you include? So, apart from your covering letter, which we'll discuss at the end, this is going to be the first part of your CV your potential employer will see. So you really, really want to make it good. Don't let it ramble on. 3 to 4 sentences max needed really at this stage. And really try and sell yourself. Use lots of adjectives and highlight your main skills and key skills and interests. Really think about what makes you stand out from your peers. So if you think about it, over 800 vets will be qualifying this year. So you want to ensure you stand out from the rest of the people applying. I've just added on an opening statement here that I've got taken from a CV of a new grad from a few years ago. She's really, really clear about what she wants to do and what her key skills are. So you can see there it says confident with farm animal handling. And she also lists a special interest as well, which may be of interest to any future employer. So key skills and achievements, what should you include? So any potential employer will want to know what you can do when you can join them. Do you have experience with castrations in space, for instance? Can you perform any simple surgical procedures? Don't worry if you can't. It's just a matter of showing what you can and what you can do, what you're confident in doing. One thing we see a lot of on people's CVs, and especially grad CVs, is just a list of EMS placements. It's fine to list your EMS placements, but if you do so, you need to add what you've learned and what key skills you've picked up while you're on the placement, not just the location and how long you were there for. it's really important to list the stuff you're confident with, or also some stuff you have exposure to and think you would pick up again really easily. Um, any potential employer will want to know how you can add value to their practice from the off, and also what they need to support you with in the first year. So it's really important to be clear about what you can and what you're confident doing, and maybe what what you've had experience doing as well. So in terms of work experience, what should you really include? So the key is everything is relevant. Put all your work experience down, not just the relevant work experience. Employers really want to know all about your clinical skills, but also what transferable skills you have learned along your life journey too. I talk a lot about transferable skills when I'm doing CV workshops. Um, Transferable skills are those skills such as teamwork, communication skills, time management. These are the softer skills that you'll pick up along your life journey, but will define you and how you will perform in your vet job, and how you'll get on with the wider practice team and also your potential clients. So if you've worked in Greg's or even as a part-time receptionist in a vet surgery whilst you've been studying, what soft skills did you pick up there? Did you work part of a team? Did you have to communicate effectively with customers? Did you have to manage your time effectively to complete certain tasks? All this information is relevant and will be of interest to a future employer when they're looking at how you'll fit into their team, and also potentially inviting you for an interview too. So if someone has put all about their teamwork, communication skills and time management on their CV versus someone who hasn't, I personally know who I would pick to invite for an interview. You want to pick someone who you think is going to actually fit in the team and has got those softer skills. Um, so the last bit of your CV that you really want to think about is your interest. So detailing your interest at the end of CV is really, really important. So it's crucial that as a new grad you take time back for yourself, and that you have an outlet for any stress and anxiety that you may build up when dealing with your day-to-day activities as a vet. They want to know that you have a personality and that you'll fit into the practice team. Um, Also, adding that you can bake always help. I know everyone likes cake, and especially in vet practice, everyone likes a bit of chocolate and a bit of cake. Um, they just want to know that you're not a one-trick pony, really, and all that you do is become a vet. They want to know that you have other things about you and that you are a rounded person. Um, they want you to fit into the practice team, and part of that is partaking in the practice banter, going out on team events, that kind of thing. So they just really want to know that you're going to be part of the practice team and work really well with everybody else. Um, they want to know you've got effective communication skills as well. So if you've ever taken part in any team sports event or extracurricular activities with groups such as BBA events, or organised any BBA events, or organised any events when you're at university, it shows that you've got effective communication skills and team working skills as well. So it really shows that you will do a really good job as a vet. Because as you all know, it's not all necessarily about the clinical skills, it's about how you are with the clients and how you are with the rest of the team as well. So the next bit I'm just going to cover is all about covering letters. So what should they say? So there's a big difference between covering letters and your CV. A covering letter, the introduction should say all about you and why you're applying for that specific job. Your CV can be fairly generic, but the covering letter should be absolutely specific to the job that you're applying for. Also, if you are not located in the location of the practice, it's really good to mention that you are obviously willing to move for the job that you're applying for. Then paragraph two, we put a bit about why you'd like to work for the company and why you're interested in the job you're applying for as well. The people want to know that you've actually got a specific interest in that company and also that practice before they would consider you for a role. So it's really important to make sure that you have covered all that off in your covering letter. So paragraph three, what makes you the strongest candidate? What skills and experience do you have for the job? So put down why you should be considered, why if that practice maybe does referrals, maybe you can put about how you have a specialist interest in that area. Just put about why you think you would be the best person for the job really, and what skills and experience you do have that will be able to help you do that job better. And then the end of the your covering letter, just in the spirit of expectation, make it positive, and looking forward to the next stage of the recruitment process. Always good to put any practical details that you might want to add in, such as if you're taking exams at a certain time, if you've got any holidays booked, when you're available for interviews. Um, you want to express yourself in a really upbeat way. You imagine you sat in front of the person you're writing the letter to. What would you say at the end of the conversation? It's like, I really want to come and work for your practice. I've heard really good reviews, and please consider me for this job role. So just some do's and don'ts as well for the covering letters. So do tailor it to the specific role. Don't just churn out the same covering letter 10 times, because that's not going to help your cause. Do use it to expand on your CV as well. So if you're trying to keep your CV really compact and down to 1 or 2 pages, there might be other things pertaining to that role that you're applying for that you actually want to expand on, drawing on any kind of skills and experience that you've got with the role. Um, really sell yourself and really show the employer what you can offer. And this is your one time to get in front of them and try and encourage them to invite you for a face-to-face interview. So you really want to try and sell yourself as much as you can. Write about the employer and why you actually really want to work with them. And always keep it short and spaced out. Don't, again, write a 2-page war and peace on covering letter. It should be complementing your CV and just trying to sell yourself. So what you don't want to do is write robotically. So try to be informal. Employee wants to see your personality as well as your skills, and it's an opportunity to really tell the employee your story and what you're about. And try not to draw attention to your weaknesses as well. So focus on the skills and the successes, and talking about the things that you actually can do, rather than focusing on the things that you can't do and the things that you might need to learn. So actually, I've rattled through that fairly quickly. The other last point I'm going to leave you on is, what do you think the first thing an employer does when they receive your CV? I know that when I've been employing for roles, first thing I do is Google people and look at their social media profiles. So it's really important to keep them nice and clean. If you don't want people to look at it, make them private. But if you do want people to look at them and you don't mind, just make sure there's nothing on there that might catch you out. Um, so that's it, really. Thank you, everybody, very much for your time. I will take any questions now. I can't see anything that actually has come in. So if anyone wants to ask any questions, please do put them on the sidebar at the side. Can't see anything at the moment. Do any of you guys want to add anything in? Add anything that I've said? No? Okay, well, we haven't got any questions. So I'll give it a couple more minutes for anyone who's got any questions to ask any questions, but it doesn't look like there are any. So I'll leave it there then. Thank you very, very much, everyone, for your time. This session is being recorded, so it will be emailed out to everyone as well at the end, and anyone who didn't attend. I'm really sorry you couldn't attend, but hopefully it has been of some use. If anyone has any questions at any other time, please send them to vets.info@prospect-health.com. Also, if you go back to the recording on the other on the first slide, you'll see that all the consultants' email addresses are on there as well. So if anyone wants to ask them anything specifically or directly about their particular areas, or you can give them a ring. It's always a good idea just to give them a ring, and you can have a good chat to them about any queries that you have about your role. Ooh, I've got a question that's come in just from Anna, saying, should you mention every single EMS placement? I can answer that. I would probably say yes. Well, actually, Gemma, it seems like she's got something to say about that. So I'll ask. I'll see if Gemma wants to answer that question. Gemma, you are.
Hi there. Yeah, I would definitely say it's worth popping each one on there, especially if you've done some suitable mixed placements and small animal placements. I would definitely put the ones that are most relevant to what you want to do as a new graduate towards the top. So if you are looking for a small animal position, I would pop all them at the top, put your equine ones and things at the bottom. But it's definitely worth putting it on there. It gives us a good idea of the range of practices that you work with. We do know most, if not all, of the practices across the country. So it does give us an idea of the size teams that you've worked with and the sort of the equipment and the support that you might have had throughout that. So yeah, definitely pop them all on.
Okay. Thank you, Gemma. I've got another question here from Rosie. So, Rosie, are you all right to answer this question, Chris? Yeah. Okay, hold on. So, Chris, the question from Rosie is, oh, if I can get it up, hold on. I'm having a few technical issues. I'm not looking to get a job immediately, looking for end of 2019. Do you think this puts me at a disadvantage?
No, not really. It's not uncommon that we've dealt with new graduates previously that have taken time out to go travelling or just taken time out before work. It obviously just puts you a little bit of a backward step in terms of where you'd be in relation to it. So you'd just be treated as a new graduate, but there's certain placements and opportunities for people that have taken time off before they start work. So no, it shouldn't be a problem at all.
Super stuff. Thanks, Chris. I've got another question here from Tavishi. So you all right answering this, Chris Towers? I'll just turn you on. Hold on. The question, Chris, is from Tavishi. Should you include preclinical experience such as AHEMS and pre-university experience?
Yeah, I think that if you feel that it's going to be relevant for what you're applying for, then I think that definitely yes. But I would just always keep in mind what Martine mentioned before in terms of keeping the CV relatively short and relatively snappy. Usually speaking, we don't see any CVs any longer than 2 pages long. So I'd use that 2-page rule. If you find that you've got some extra space, then add it in and go as deep as you want to do, as long as you can make it relevant to the job that you're actually applying for.
Super stuff. Thanks, Chris. I've got another question from Emily. Emily, I'll answer this one. And what I will actually do is I'll blip back through the slides. So just give me a minute. Because Emily's question is, what order should things be written in on the CV, i.e. education before experience? So just give me a minute. Oh, I'm going to just blip back through the slides. And actually the first slide had on it layout of the, here you go. So this is a layout of the CV. So this is probably the best thing to do. Put your opening statement first, your personal statement, and then put your key skills and achievements right at the top. Then put your work experience, which is all your EMS placements, and that's where you're going to really, really talk about all your key skills, your achievements, and everything you've worked, everything you've done, whilst you've been at university and everything you've learned. And then the education bit at the bottom. What I always say to when I'm on CV workshops is that you're obviously clever people because you've got into vet school in the first place. So, and your last educational experience will be your where you are at vet school. So that bit can go towards the bottom, and then your interests right at the bottom. That's the way I would structure it, Emily. So I think that's it. It doesn't look like I've got any other questions. If anyone's got any other questions, give you another 30 seconds or so. No, I think that's it, guys. So thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you to the vet team for coming along onto the webinar as well. And hopefully we'll all be talking to you soon about potential jobs when you graduate. Thanks very much, everyone.